Do you know Rob from Madison?
No, I don't think so.
He goes to...
He's around
Rob?
for football.
Oh,
Mad
no,
Rob.
okay. I just put it together. Yeah. Well, he did a great job. This is...
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool.
it's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is what you wanted. Holy shit, this is great. Wow, good for you. Wow, what are you up to?
Nothing. I just, some guy just came over, Dave Rose, photographer.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a great photographer. Yeah. He has a building in Lowell. It used to be the old car dealership. He redid the whole building. It's beautiful.
All right. Oh, that's it?
Oh, no, he's a legit guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he texted me and said, hey, thanks again for the meatball Friday night. And it was great to hang for a little while. And I'm glad you're going to do this project. And
What?
and I have fucking
Seriously?
absolutely no memory. Did we have meatballs? And they remembered meatballs, kind of.
So you text me back, I'm all in, I can hardly wait.
Well, unfortunately, I had to leave town to go to Austin for that hockey game.
Right, okay,
So
yeah.
I said, get back to me after whatever, because I'm going to Austin. And he's like, hey, are you back from Austin? How'd the trip go? And I'm glad you're doing this for the Artemisia.
Oh, okay,
exhibit.
for Sloan's thing. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, come by. I wanted to scout the location this morning. And
What is the project?
came by and gave me a hug. And he goes, I haven't been here since the Super Bowl before COVID. And
Holy shit.
I don't remember you from then. I don't remember you now.
Holy fuck.
And didn't know we were on a hugging level.
You have total amnesia when it comes to this guy.
Yeah,
and apparently you're doing something for him.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Oh, that's so funny.
There must have been drugs involved.
Okay.
It was mushrooms and edibles, and obviously
This
cocktails.
is why you've had bad relationships, I'm just saying.
Yeah, evidently I've had a fine relationship. We're still hugging.
Yeah, no, this one's going gangbusters till the end. Yeah. It's gonna be ugly. That's so funny.
Yeah, speaking of it's going to be ugly, so is this podcast, because it'll harken you back to the days when I was a smoker with the phlegm, so don't worry about it. They're used to it. But yeah, so I've looked up the Tracheo Malaysia.
Yeah.
And it's fucked.
Oh, it's completely fucked. It's rare.
It's usually babies and young children.
It's kids, and then there's adult Tracheo Malaysia, which is the rare kind.
All right, so
Yeah.
but from what I saw, the things that could cause it, you didn't fit any of those bills. You haven't been intubated.
There's no cause. I mean that's the one, but there's no known cause. It's not like you inherit it, or it's not Diet Coke. You know, it's not anything.
Could you make me a cocktail?
Oh, let's see what do you want.
A vodka soda splash cran?
You got it.
Thanks.
So yeah, there's no like if you do A, B will happen. Kind of, it's not at all. No. Part of the issue with it is it's so rare it hasn't been studied, so there's not a lot of info.
And that's why we're doing this, is in case anyone knows anything about Tracheo Malaysia, or knows someone who's, and you've seen specialists and they didn't turn out to be all that special.
I saw a guy in Ohio and he did a procedure that may be worse, but at the time I didn't know it. When I first found out about this, they stuck a camera down my throat and I came to and they said, I have bad news for you. I'm like, what the fuck? And they said, you have this thing and it's untreatable and it's progressive and it's terrible. And then the guy walked away. I'm like, can I get some ice chips? What the fuck, right? So, I mean, something, man. And so then I looked it up because I wrote a book about clinical trials. This is my wheelhouse, right? So I'm like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I found a guy who wrote a paper, and he did a thing where he scarred the trachea to the scar tissue is supposed to make it stiffen, because what the condition is, it collapses. It collapses.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on exhalation. So he scarred it and did all this stuff, but it didn't work. And it's not that it's a bad procedure. It's just that it didn't work for me.
Have you tried like PVC tubing?
Yes, actually.
Bisbee plumbing?
I got a stent, a metal stent, first of all. And that was a fucking nightmare. It was so painful, and I had that for a month, and it was to the extent where I would be in my house and just say, I must be dead and in hell. This must be Jacob's ladder. I must be, because there's no way I could be alive and doing this. It was that bad. Then they took that out, thank God. And a few weeks later, they put in a silicone stent. And what ended up, that was bad too. My trachea ended up crushing it. And it ended up moving up. And even if it had worked, stents are only a temporary fix.
It's not just collapsing, it's imploding.
It is. It's got strength. Yeah. So
this is fucking. I know I'm a little bit laughing, but this is deadly. This can possibly. I know you're keeping a stiff upper lip.
But
smile.
Oh no, I'll be watching I'm watching the Tour de France because I love the Tour de France, and something will happen. I'll just start weeping. I'm like, I better not go out today. This is not going to work out. So, but they put a silicone stent in, and those are temporary because they attract infection. And if you get pneumonia, I mean, that's pretty much what's going to kill you.
All right.
So they put those in for up to 2 weeks. So there's no cure. There's no treatment except for the surgery in Boston that I may or may not get. So, and that's what I'm aiming for.
Nice.
So one of the weird parts about it is that because there's so little information, I don't know what it's like to live with this. No one can tell me. There's no case studies. I don't know if I'm doing good or bad in the arc of things. I have no clue. I have no clue.
This is a dumb question, but have you looked it up on Reddit?
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing. Fucking nothing. I've been, and I'm keeping my own diary, sort of, just to whine, so I don't forget how terrible it was. But there's so little, and that's part of the issue is I don't. And I talked to my doctor last week, and I told him,
just remind me when we're done on my own Reddit page to put up. Just so anyone Googling it will at least find something, and then maybe they'll reach out and have a pal.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I talked to my doctor, who's a great guy at Banner, and I messaged him on the portal that I'm, because I'd taken a turn for the worse. Things got much worse for me, just functionality plummeted. And he said, let's have a phone call. We had a phone call. And after I told him all this stuff, he's like, okay. And he said, there's really nothing I can do. And I appreciated his honesty, because there's
but
another
you weren't
time.
Expecting it.
Well, I pretty much figured that because he doesn't know. He has said to me about things I don't know. When I got the first stent and they were going to take it out, I asked him, "Will I breathe better after this?" And he said, "I don't know." I'm like, "Oh, goody!" I mean, it's just so
get
bizarre.
a hold of Doc Mark too, just to see.
Yeah.
Because he might know of someone that knows someone, but. You have to go to Boston and you have to get in one of those fucking iron lung type of MRI machines.
Fuck me, I am freaking me out.
I get your eye masks.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rehearse that. Yeah.
Okay, because when I had a MRI where they said, "Do you have any problem with claustrophobia?" And I go, "Well, yeah, a lot."
Yeah.
And because you will be in, and she goes, "It's not the really bad machine. It's the," so I looked up Google image search, and I go, "I hope it's that one, because if it's that one, I'm fucking." There's
the donut one, and then there's the pod one, and you're like fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I wore an eye mask because I always sleep with an eye mask and on planes, and I pretended like I'm on a sleeping car in an Amtrak, and and Xanax helped. But Xanax
doesn't work for me. I tried taking 2 the other day just to practice again, and I'm still the anxious, fucked up person I was, and I'm like, this is fucking nothing, man. So I'm going to see my doctor on the 8th, Peggy Avena, and I'm going to ask for a hardcore Valium and see if I can take a couple of those.
But wouldn't that suppress your?
That's part of the problem. Suppress my breathing. It's all this fucked up stuff is the ancillary stuff. It's not I'm sleeping hour and a half, 2 hours at a stretch, and I wake up not able to breathe. And when it comes to claustrophobia, I never had it. I have claustrophobia outside because I can't breathe.
Yeah.
So I'm wheezing, and there's no getting away from it. It's really weird. The whole thing has just been very strange.
Yeah, when you were explaining that to me, I understand that feeling and
having something in where you're coughing it up. Yeah, but sometimes I will go an hour and a half trying to get it, and I can't. I can't get it, and it's clogging me up, and I can't cough it out, and it's just there. And a couple of times I've panicked because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I had to have a little speech with myself saying, "Don't panic. It's going to make it worse. Got to calm down." And I'm like, but I can't breathe at the same time. And this has happened so often, I'm starting not to get used to it, but to know the steps that I have to take. But again, there's no information source that says, if this happens, you should. There's nothing.
I can't believe you haven't started drinking again.
Yeah, me either, but I imagine that would make my head explode at this point because I'm just, my worries are so exponential. It's when you get sick, it's boring. Your life gets so small. Being sick is fucking boring.
How much has your phone stopped ringing?
Not bad. I have some great friends. Andrew, Bronwyn, Olivia, you, other people have been fantastic. Again, like I said, it's like being at your own wake. Everyone has been amazing. And I'm like, I'll never pay this shit back. I am in debt for the rest of my life, man. I am so screwed on this deal. I've got to be a really nice person now.
You have the weight loss is fucking dramatic.
Yeah, I got to puff my cheeks out to shave. I mean, it's this shit's getting weird, man. And
I was just picturing that.
I do. It's like,
you literally do?
Yeah, no, I literally do. Yeah. So, I just.
It's just a fucking hilarious visual. Like you might
like a
pop the balloon.
Exactly. So my life is so odd because I don't go. The other day I had a great day. I walked to the patisserie, and I got a chocolate croissant, and I walked home, and I was exhausted from that. And I made a cup of coffee, and I had a chocolate croissant, and I watched the Tour de France, and I'm sitting there, and I thought to myself, I have this great life. This is fucking amazing. What are the poor people doing? This is incredible, right? And then 10 minutes later, I started into a coughing fit that lasted almost 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, maybe life ain't so great. But, I mean, for a moment, it was like, okay, no, stop. Part of the thing when you get sick, I think, is you don't want to be a pussy about it. But quit your bitching. It's like, I cried because I had no shoes and I met a man with no feet.
Yeah.
And that cheered me up for a while, So I'm sort of that way. I'm like, I gotta be better about this. Better.
Do you have that up? It's on the Wikipedia page for Tracheo Malaysia.
Could be just an image search. But.
Oh yeah, it's the images. It's not going to work on that TV anyway. On the Wikipedia page
Seriously cool.
The Wikipedia page, it shows like a normal, and then one type of Tracheo Malaysia, and then a third version, and they all look like pocket pussies.
Yeah, you do. It's like, wow, look at that.
I was gonna have you pick out the one you think is yours.
Mine's getting more severe, and it's the entirety of my trachea. Usually it's the top or a part. Mine's top to bottom into my lungs. So everything's just collapsing, and there's no reason. And it's not like I did something.
It's one of the reasons when I was looking up, there are some causes that.
Yeah, intubation is one of them, but that.
But I was like, I hope it's not like smoking. It's like Andy's bit. You don't want something that people can blame you for. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to I guess through trauma, you have to be better. It's supposed to improve you or something. And I'm trying to be more patient. I'm like, just fucking, because my days are fucking long because I don't do anything. And I'm like, and I remember years ago, I went on this religious retreat to Holy Trinity Monastery in St. David for 3 days.
Right.
And it was great, right? And I come back, and about a week later, I'm talking to Russ. And Russ says, when you came back from that retreat and you were all mellow and serene? I'm like, yeah. He said, yeah, that wasn't working for me. That was fucking weird. Don't do that again. Because I'm not a patient person. It's not my nature. You know what I mean? It's just not fucking who I am, and I'm trying to be. But you can't force
So
yourself
it's
to
like
do something,
COVID all over again for you.
I can leave, but how far can I get? It's kind of silly. So,
To be fair, if I was going from your house to the patisserie, I'd drive.
the quarter of a mile.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a hill there too.
Yeah, well, true. So, if I'm online, like at Safeway or something at the pharmacy, I am sitting there saying, okay, how long can I stand here? It's starting to get to that point, and it wasn't until a few weeks ago. And now I'm 59. I'm planning my life like I'm 87. Okay, what can I do? What can I do? How much can I take this? And you're thinking just fucking changes into these incremental tiny things that now you have to negotiate, with yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't want to fail. It's like, no, I can make it up my day. I live up 53 steps. And I'm like, I can make it. I'm like, no, you can't, man. No, you can't.
Wow.
I got to take it slow. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I didn't drop those eye masks off for you, is because I've never been. I know where you come out of your house.
Yes.
And on the sidewalk, I don't know where up in there it is, and I didn't know how many.
If we know each
stairs
other
it was.
15 more years, maybe you'll make it.
now that I know it's 53 steps, I'll never be.
Never fucking be there. So, but I'm taking, you take one step, and then the next foot goes on the same step, like a little kid.
Oh yeah.
That's how I'm fucking walking, and I'm like, fuck this. I mean, it's just everything's surreal. It's just really weird. Being sick is weird to begin with, but having something that I don't know that they're going to do the surgery on, I don't know that.
You
yet,
said that because it's. I love that you're writing.
Yeah.
You said, because you were on the phone. You told me that you can't even read because you don't have the
I
attention.
get concentration. I'm watching old Law and Orders because it's comfort TV.
And you don't have to think.
I just sit there and drool, and it's great. It's because I don't have to think. Exactly. I can't. My concentration level is tiny, and part of that
Can you do
is
Audible books?
I can, but it's for long periods of time. Part of it is I'm retaining CO2 because I can't exhale,
Right.
and that's poisoning me over time. Another thing. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. So I have to negotiate that and figure out how much is that making me weak. What am I? Do I need to go to the hospital because I have to fix that? Is it that bad? I don't know. So it just keeps rolling.
So what about a tracheotomy? Would that is it?
It's the whole trachea that's collapsing. So they could stick a hole here. They can give me oxygen, but it's like pinching a straw. The oxygen is not going to get to my lungs. It's not going to get there.
Iron lung?
Silicone lung, Velcro lung. I'll try anything at this point. I'm like, sure, great. I'm going into Boston to Beth Israel, which is the hospital for Harvard. So I guess they're smart.
All right.
I hope. I know at least they'll charge a lot. So, and they're going to do a bunch of tests that I've already had done, but they have to do their tests.
Yeah.
And after that, they'll let me know if they're going to do this surgery, which only a few places do. So I'm waiting on a verdict. If they don't do the surgery, I'm fucked. I will have to live with this. There's no cure or treatment besides the surgery at Beth Israel. So, and they might decide not to, for whatever reason. It might not meet their criteria,
When you had to go on away party for Floyd's asshole, when he lost his asshole to cancer.
I know. Yeah.
We
good party,
had
though.
a podcast. It was a good party. He lost his wife over the podcast.
I know.
Or she used that as the excuse.
Well,
She's-
yeah, but yeah.
Anyway, but I had to ask him. I'll ask you, like, especially when you had the metal thing. How often did you think about killing yourself?
Yeah, there's a couple times it's come down to, I know people who can get morphine, and that's been a couple times, and I didn't think of it really.
Yeah.
But I'm very logistical, like I'm a fucking idiot, like I can plan being sick.
It's the
right?
ultimate ditch bag. Is having that in the cabinet.
It's like, okay, if I decide I can do A, B, and C, I can get there. And I satisfied myself with that, but I'm like, I want to see how this thing's going to end. Because right now it's a cliffhanger because I don't even know if I'm going to get the surgery. And the surgery is a fuck of a surgery. I mean, it's 8 hours long. It's robotic. You come to and you're on an epidural. You have a tube coming out of your chest. You have a catheter. It's like you have a tube giving you oxygen. You're fucked, man, for a while. Recovery is like 2 months. And I asked the guy, I'm like, is that a real 2 months? Come on, And he said, we had one guy go back to work after 6 weeks, but he had a desk job where he didn't have to talk to anybody. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that, So it's a real thing. And then you start thinking, how much sick time at work do I have? How am I going to get paid? Can I make the mortgage? Exponentially, I play things out exponentially. How might this go?
Yeah.
Like if I don't get the MRI or I freak out, right? Then they may decide not to do the surgery because I don't have that test. Or they might take longer, which means I have to live with this longer. So then the dominoes start falling. And so you don't know which one's going to knock them all over and which one's not. It's very weird.
And so you're going to have to stay in Boston that whole time.
Well, for the tests, I'm only there for 3 days.
All right.
For the surgery, I have to stay in Boston.
But you'd be in the hospital.
No, for the first week, I'm in ICU and then regular hospital. And then they say, get out of here, but don't leave Boston.
All right. Well, if nothing else, we could probably find
Don't leave Boston,
we could
right?
probably find you a couch to sleep on in the.
For a critically ill
Greater
person.
Boston
Hi, how you doing? I'll just clean up after myself. So, but then I had to stay there for 2 weeks. The reason being, if something happened to me and I went to like the hospital, no one here would know what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I mean, no one anywhere would know what it was, so they couldn't treat it. So I need to be nearby.
Yeah.
And then I get to come home after a total of 3 weeks in Boston, if this happens. And then I get to recover for 6 more weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, it's an investment. It's you got to be committed, man. You got to be totally in or out. And I'm you know me. I mean, I've had an islet cell transplant to cure diabetes. I've had, medically, I describe clinical trials as the extreme sports of medicine. That's what this is. This is out there, and I can't even find information. I'm good at finding information. I was a reporter, all this other shit. Can't find shit about what to expect, how it's going to go, anything. Hopefully, in Boston, when I go out there, they'll answer some questions. That would be nice.
Yeah, if every time we say Tracheo Malaysia, if you could just that word on the screen so people Google it. If you're in the medical field, ask some people, who do you know that knows anyone who knows anything? And if nothing else, let them die on your couch in Sudbury somewhere.
And at this point, we've raised $80, so we're doing great.
Yeah, do you have a GoFundMe?
No.
You teach. First of all,
teach, yeah.
Alex, if you haven't seen Alex on the podcast before or back then heard him on the podcast, Alex he's a guy that was my acting coach when I did the Louis episode.
Oh, that's right, I forgot about that.
Both Bingo and my books, he's proofread and given notes, all of them. He's been a great friend. So a lot of the shit that you enjoy about me is because he helped. So yes, if anywhere you can think to send this, anyone you know that you can ask about it, or if you're just if you're a handyman and you have an idea,
Nah.
Sure. Got a 2x4. Damn. This is gonna hurt. So yeah, it's been a strange trip, and I'm lucky I had the summer off.
Yeah.
And again, I literally count my blessings because there's so few. They're easy to count. But I'm like, I fucking summer off, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Truly. So I'm lucky in a lot of ways with this shit. We'll see if it works out though. I don't know.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up because it's the mini cast.
Sure.
But we wanted to get it out as soon as possible, but you'll hang out. We'll talk more.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see what you find. And I'm gonna I'll make a Reddit a post right now on my Reddit, and we'll see if we can find other folks.
Because there's no clearinghouse. There's no place. And I've looked,
there's no Tinder for
exactly. Yeah.
no matches out there.
Nope. That'd be cool though.
All right. Well, let's hit the computers.
All right. Cool.
See you. Thanks.
Right.